The revelations now televised. A platform for you and I. An outlook with full heart and clear eyes. Now, these are just my thoughts. Truth on how I feel on these topics I reveal. Please know my toll, I always keep it real. Can't face the word if you can't face facts. For your time, just open up your mind. That's it, just live, think big, now take that. With God in me, this here was made by design. Yeah, the revelation will be televised. REVELSations.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back. It's been a minute on the Revelations Podcast. Been a little while. I have been sick. I've been under the weather, got the flu, had another bug. It was not COVID. I had COVID before, but I am back and ready to rock. So hopefully you are well and you're doing okay and you are not sick. And if you are, hopefully you'll get over it soon. And maybe this podcast will help you out. But REVELSations Podcast, I'm happy to be back. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, if you're on YouTube rocking with me, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. And more importantly, audio or video, share this with somebody else. Let's get this thing cracking. In the meantime, while I was sick, I got a couple of show points of emphasis for you. I have some new conversations coming up. I'm really excited. Was able to schedule out some things. So look forward to having those things here on the podcast. And I think you'll like them. There's some really good and interesting conversations that I'm looking to have with some folks and challenge my beliefs and explore some areas where I'm not familiar and just learn a lot. I'm always into learning. I think it's a really good thing. But today is going to be oxymoronic, if you will. I'm going to talk about a topic that's very near and dear to me that helped me in my life. That is my superpower. I was in class the other day and I was asked as an icebreaker, what is your superpower? And, everybody was going around and I went last and I really didn't know. And I gave some BS answer. But then after, I actually been thinking about it. And I actually know what my superpower is. And it's consistency. And I know that might not seem like a superpower to you, but consistency is very important in the world and success and all of that. So I would say one key element to every successful person is how consistent they are over time. We've heard about things like the 10,000 hour rule. I was listening to a book, because I do books on audio, by my favorite author, Malcolm Gladwell, and he was talking about the 10,000 hour rule when it came to Bill Gates and how he was able to get coding down, and that's how we got Microsoft going. But it was that consistency over time. So consistency, as we're wont to do, we will always give dictionary definitions when we are starting a topic. Consistency, it's an adjective. It means not changing, but also means always behaving or happening in a similar, especially positive way. So I mentor teenage boys. They ask me about workout plans. They ask me how to stay on the right path, because I pretty much stayed on the good path most of my life. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I haven't had any run-ins with the law. I pretty much, as the old folks used to say, kept my nose clean, kept myself out of trouble. And they were just asking, how do I do that? And, you can try to come up with all these different ideas. And, well, if you do this and you stand on your head and spin around 3 times, it'll be okay. No. It all boils down to consistency. Just doing the same things. First finding a pattern of behavior that works for you, that works towards your goal, works towards your desired outcome, and creating a system and a pattern of behavior that over time will lead to that success or lead to that goal. And this is going to sound a little crazy when it comes to consistency. The journey, the consistency is actually the goal. It's not accomplishing the thing that's the goal. Becoming consistent is the goal. And once you become consistent, you'll see that those goals that you have are actually markers on the way to future and further success. So let's break it down. So all successful people, you take Bill Gates, like I mentioned, Steve Jobs, whoever it is, your favorite basketball player, your favorite author, your favorite musician, your favorite politician, if they're great at what they do, they have been consistent. They may be ultra talented in some ways, maybe not talented in others, really driven or what have you. But one characteristic that all successful people have is the consistency of their work. So that is creating a pattern of behavior that is successful and just doing that thing over and over and over again. And not being bored with the process, because we know progress is a process. I'm not just saying these crazy words. It's true. The consistency will lead to progress, but it's a process. It's a system of consistency that one has to develop. So one of the greatest things we can talk about is working out health, because everybody faces health in their life. You either are healthy or not healthy. I don't really think there's anywhere in between. I'm a little bit healthy. That means you're not healthy. So how does one become more healthy? Healthy habits. I've heard this saying a lot. Healthy habits. Well, the answer is simple, but the execution is not easy. Again, the answer is simple. Consistency. Eat right, exercise, sleep, drink water. That's a simple answer. Everybody can do that. But it's hard to do it because we as humans, we're not very consistent. We get this word that comes up, bored. We get tired of it. We need something new. We need something exciting. And excitement is a thief of consistency. I'm going to say it again. Excitement, or the need for excitement, I should say, the need for excitement is a thief of consistency. We will forego oftentimes a consistent, proven method because it's boring, because it doesn't excite us, because we're tired of doing this, because it's the same thing over and over. Chasing something more exciting. But here's the thing about exciting things. They become boring too. So it doesn't matter what you're chasing. If you do it after a while, it's going to become boring. And can you stay with the boring? Can you stay consistent? Take it away from eating healthy. Exercise. People have asked me, how long does it take you to get in shape? I said, a lifetime. They're like, what do you mean? I said, fitness is a lifestyle. It's a consistent thing. It's not a religion. You can go to the gym 4 times a week. I would recommend work out more days than you don't. 7 days in a week. If you're going 3 days a week, to me, that's not enough. You should be doing it more often than you're not. So at least 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 or 7. And if you miss a day, it's not that big of a deal because this is not a religion. It's just a consistent pattern of behavior. So I wake up, I go work out, I go to work, I wake up, I work out, I go to work, I wake up, I work out, I go to work. And over time, there is no get rich quick scheme. There is no get healthy quick scheme. It is consistency over time. And consistency is going to pay off. It can do 2 things in health. It can literally lengthen your life, but we actually don't know where we're going to go. We're all going to end up, on the other side of life eventually. And even if it does not lengthen our life, it does give us a better quality of life while we're here. I may only have 20 more years, but if I have a healthy 20 years, that's going to be a greater quality of life than an unhealthy 20 years. So I'm going to be consistent in my health so that my next 20 years will be a quality 20 years. When it comes to saving, you don't have to save all your money at the same time, save 70% of your check. Most of us are not in the financial position to where we can do such a thing. It's okay, but consistency over time. And oftentimes we're looking at the end result and looking at the little we have or where we're starting and saying we'll never get there because we're thinking it takes these long, we think it's taking these really long journey to get there, which is true. But every journey starts with a step and you get closer to your goal, which I mentioned before, with every step. But once you realize the goal is actually creating the journey of consistency, saving $100, $1,000, $10,000, all of those things will no longer be goals. They'll be markers on the way of having a what? Consistent saving lifestyle. That's what it's about. It's about consistency. So no matter what you do, no matter who you see as being successful, if you want it to be great, you have to be consistent with the system. Now, how do you create the system? You have to figure that one out on your own. I have my own systems. Everybody's system doesn't work for me. Everybody's system won't work for you. But what I will suggest is this: find somebody else's system that you might, for in finance, in health, in relationships, or what have you. Find it, study it, tweak it for your personality and for your life, and then stay with it. And if you're going along and it's not working, change something about it, but keep a system in place of consistency, and you will eventually reach the markers, aka the goals that you have set. Maybe not all of them, but that will be okay, because you'll know that I'm always inching toward it. I'm always walking toward it. Consistency over time. But again, that's a simple concept that's hard to execute. Life gets in the way. We get in our way. Heartbreak, sickness, pain, whatever. Remember, I was just off for over a week because I was sick, but I was still consistent in thinking about ideas, thinking about topics. It's not a religion, so I missed a couple days. Oh, well, my podcast didn't burn in eternal flames, and that's okay. But I'm back. Once I can get back up, I got right back on the horse, right back on the mic, and I'm doing the thing again. So consistency over time. So ask yourself, where in your life are you consistent? If you are consistent in an area, I would say that you're thriving in that area better than you are in those areas where you're not as consistent. And consistent doesn't mean being predictable. There's some things that are predictable. Rev's going to go work out 6 days a week. Pretty predictable. Okay? That's a consistency thing. But I'm not predictable in what I say, how I act, the way I dress, the way I treat people is pretty consistent, but it's not necessarily predictable. So it is a point of reliability and consistency, but don't think that consistency will make you boring. Consistency is boring, but you have to be okay with the boring. If you're looking for excitement, it's going to rob you of your need to be consistent because you're chasing a need to be excited. And how many times have chasing excitement helped us out? Oftentimes, but again, that will turn boring eventually. But how often has chasing excitement put us in a detrimental situation? It's happened to me before. I've chased excitement and got out of my consistency realm, and it cost me because I'm like, oh, I'm going to let the boring go, chase the exciting, chase the new, and boom, it messes up. Relationships that have lasted 30, 40, 50 years, not that they're lasting that way in our current world, but our grandmothers, our grandfathers, consistency over time. Entrepreneurs out there who have successful businesses, you know I'm right, consistency over time. You just got to build that thing one step at a time. And to go along with the consistency of you building one step at a time, do not compare yourself to other people if you can help it. I think it's a human thing. I think it's natural for us to compare, to want to see where we rank with other individuals. I get it. I totally get it. I do it as well. But when I do that, I try to think, okay, Rev, that's their lane. That's what they do. I don't know all the things that led them to this place. I don't know all the advantages they have. I don't know all the steps that they skipped. I don't know all the help that they had. The only thing I know is they're there. They're where they are. And I'm where I am. And when I get discouraged about where I am and I say it's not where they are, I begin to think about how far I've come. So who is more successful? The person that is higher up, but they didn't start from so far as back, or a person who isn't as high up, but they started from way down low? I would say the second person is more successful, and they've probably been consistent over time getting there. And I'm telling you once again, the need for chasing excitement and the need for comparison will rob us of our consistency. Well, that's it. Just coming real quick, real fast, since I'm getting back to health. I'm feeling good, and I'm happy that you all are with me. Thank you again for listening to the REVELSations Podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast, and I'll holler at you guys next time. Peace.